All right, man, peace. So as most of you brothers know, I have a series on my YouTube channel called Are You Ready to Be Married? And I usually put the term married in quotes because that concept of marriage, which originally was meant to pertain to the unification of a man and a woman spiritually, mentally, I won't say necessarily emotionally because it's very difficult for a man and a woman to be unified emotionally, but as well as physically, the consummation of the marriage, sexual intercourse, things of that nature, and a lifelong relationship. Today they call it a partnership, which is an attempt to surreptitiously imply the quote-unquote equality of the man and the woman, or the male and the female per se. At the end of the day, the man and the woman are not equal. There are things that men can do that women cannot do, and vice versa. Both parties bring certain energies to the table that are essential. But just getting back to the point, in this modern day time, what marriage is a corporate union between the corporation known as the man and the corporation known as the woman, or the corporation known as the male and the corporation known as the female. They come together to form a merger, and that's how your quote-unquote unity is recognized. It's recognized pertaining to the state or to the quote-unquote country that you're in, according to the coming together of two corporations. When you're born, you're given a birth certificate because that basically is very much akin to your business license. You're now in business. Your birth certificate number is your bond number. It's given the opportunity to mature, and what's assumed is that at the age of 18, you're going to start to fulfill the promise of that bond. So once you come together with the woman, you join together as a mutual bond. When you separate, that's why everything is about the financial aspect. How are the assets going to be divvied up? I say all that because it's very important for brothers out there who might get, I won't say suckered into marriage, but drawn into that concept of marriage, that is not about what they tell you it's about. Real marriage is the biblical definition. The unification of the man and the woman on the physical level, on the spiritual level, on the mental level. In this society, it's a corporate union. So the woman is telling you about marriage, but actually what she's talking about is the wedding. They want the wedding ceremony. The woman's mind is trained to believe that every day is supposed to be a fun day. Every day things are supposed to go her way. And if things don't go her way, if not early, certainly later on, she's going to quit. She's going to try to start a ruckus, raise a commotion, and either walk herself out of the quote-unquote relationship or try to prompt you to push her out of the relationship. So you have to ask yourself, does the woman that you're with want the marriage, or does she want the wedding? Which is basically a lavish banquet in which the woman gets to live out her Sleeping Beauty, her Cinderella, her Snow White fantasy, her Disney programming. And after that's over, then you and her get to go on the quote-unquote overpriced honeymoon, which is probably going to be the most sex that you have in the relationship post-wedding. It's going to be on the honeymoon because after that, there's going to be a whole bunch of other things that you may experience. Who knows? Hopefully things work out for you. But at the end of the day, you have to understand what you're getting into. And that brings us to this segment right here. And that's why the name of this series is, do liberal women want to be married, or do they just want the wedding? We're going to see the extreme amount of vitriol that tends to permeate the woman once she's quote-unquote over the marriage. Really, once that roller coaster starts to go downhill, it reaches its pinnacle, its peak, and then it starts to go downhill. The woman gets bored, and then she gets very resentful. Or sometimes the man is not willing to fulfill his end of the bargain, corporate-wise. When two corporations come together, both parties have to be willing to fulfill their end of the bargain. So if you as a man are not willing to fulfill your end of the bargain, the woman is going to run you through the court system, because basically everything is configured to go her way in this system. This is the system of the serpent. The serpent works through the woman. So anyway, they're going to talk about it. I'm going to chime in.
Cassandra Bautista is a party planner who specializes in divorce parties.
Hey, brothers, you hear that? This person here, Cassandra Bautista, is a party planner who specializes in divorce parties. Why would she start a business specializing in divorce parties unless she already knows many people plan on getting divorced? That's a big thing. That's a sign of female strength, to leave a man, to divorce a man.
Cassandra claims the defendant hired her to throw a party for her after she got out of a long-term relationship. But she's suing because the defendant has failed to pay. Defendant Alicia Rolette was friends with Cassandra, and she offered to throw Alicia a party after she got out of a 5-year relationship. Alicia was unhappy with the party because Cassandra failed to provide multiple strippers, as well as a dartboard with her ex's face on it.
I mean, come on now, you're that bitter? You have to have a divorce party that has a dartboard with your ex's face on it? That tells me quite a few things. Number one, that tells me that the rod that he was giving her, she appreciated it greatly, and she's very upset that it's gone now. It also tells me that he was unwilling to play along in whatever she thought their relationship was supposed to be. That's another thing. Many times women get very upset when they realize that you're not going to allow them to dictate the tenor of their relationship. And if things fall apart because the woman gets upset about that, that's not her fault. That's your fault. Because that means that you did not scout that woman properly enough to know that that's what she's about, trying to control you. Don't be one of those guys get married and then claim, oh, the woman's trying to control me. You should have known that shit already. If a woman says anything like, oh, well, I don't want to live with you until we get married, you know what that means? That means that there's a whole different her that she plans on showing you once you guys are married. You should be living with the woman before you agree to quote unquote marry her, if that's something that you decide to do. That's up to you to decide that. But either way, you should be living with the woman first to get an understanding of who she is as a person. Most of these females do not even know how to share a home.
So she refuses to pay.
I refuse.
Hi, Your Honor. I've never been married, but I've been in a lot of weddings. I've been the maid of honor, the bridesmaid. But eventually, I started going to divorce court.
Going to divorce court to get divorced men?
No, I had to go to divorce court. I had to go to divorce court because my girlfriend...
It doesn't sound like you. I've never been married. I've been in a lot of weddings, Your Honor. And it looks like I'm missing out. I think the quickest way to deal with that is start going to divorce court.
Look at how this Mexican woman shaking her head. You'll find a lot of females like this in their mid to late 30s talking about, oh, I will never get married. They have the same attitude that men are supposed to have when they're in, their younger days, in their early 20s, late teens, mid 20s. And what will happen is that a lot of those men will get talked into marriage either by the pressure from their girlfriend or from their mother or from older females around them. Why is that? Because women enjoy seeing men go through situations that they know are not going to work out for the man, just to say that he went through it. It's like if a woman is trying to investigate what a man is about, she finds out that he has 3 kids. As long as those kids are not in his home, she actually likes that. Because in her mind, that means that, okay, he was willing to have a family. There was a woman that came across him that also saw that or felt that he was husband and father material. So maybe I'll give him a try. But if she comes across a man in his mid to late 30s who does not have any kids, the first thing that she says to herself is, what's wrong with him? You see how ass backwards the thinking is of most of these modern day females? It's something for you to be aware of and to be cognizant of. A man in his right mind understands that a child is a lifelong commitment. It's not a science project. Most of these modern liberal females view the start of a family as a science project. And if they don't like how the project is going, they'll just tear it up. Get rid of the man, keep the kids, put them on child support, on to the next dick. But you'll notice that, just getting back to the point, you'll notice that amongst a lot of these, females around the age range of this female here, she looks around 34, 35, maybe upper 30s. They say, oh no, I'm never getting married. Because they've been through various situations or seen some of their quote-unquote homegirls get married, and they understand how it doesn't work in this society. Because there are too many constraints placed on the man. The woman is supposed to understand that, yes, she can share a man. If they were raised with that understanding, things will be much better for all parties involved.
We make it out the door. I'll just go ahead.
I don't want those throwbacks. I'm actually going there because my girlfriends are getting divorced. They're calling me up.
She said throwbacks. That wasn't a bad line.
Because their man didn't lie to them, cheated, stole from them. So I start.
Those are the men that most modern day females want. Many modern day females want a man who's not doing quite as well as them, because they'll know that that man is going to depend on them. Once again, women like to feel needed. They like to have something to complain about. If the woman sees that she does not quite have enough to complain about, she'll start to make shit up in her mind. He's boring. He's too repetitive. He's too monotonous. He's almost too dependable. He's always on the phone with his mother and his father, asking how they're doing. He doesn't have enough time for me because he's always working. They want a hardworking man, but they don't understand that hard work equals time put in. So they don't respect a lot of those things. So they end up trying to search for the degenerates, because the degenerates always have time. The degenerates are always fun and exciting.
I think like I need to do something to help these women. So in 2017, I created the Spicy Divorce Party Planning business.
Not a bad idea. Basically, you understand that most of these females are dysfunctional. Eventually, they will get divorced. And because most women are bitter by nature, they want to throw a party over it.
You see divorce.
Yeah.
All right. That means once you're divorced, you spice it up that night or at the party?
Yes, exactly.
What range of spice do you make available?
Oh, we make a lot of. We have ex-husband voodoo dolls. We have a lot of alcohol. We have
Ex-husband voodoo dolls. So that just goes to show you how much enmity resides in the heart of these females when the shit doesn't work out. Be very careful, because that witchcraft and that quote-unquote black magic is on the rise in Western society, especially amongst females.
out there that you could place your ex's face on. Bowling ball pins where you can throw the ball at your ex's face.
Now, brothers, imagine going through all this bullshit as a man. Imagine a nigga say, I'm starting a divorce party company where a dude who just got divorced from his wife, we're going to throw you a party and there's going to be a dartboard with your ex's face on it. We're going to go to the gun range. We're going to put your ex's face on the targets. First off, that company would probably get shut down because the implication would be that, you're trying to exhort men to be abusive. But number two, most dudes would say, I don't give a fuck about all that. I'm divorcing the bitch. I'm on to the next. As soon as I sign the paper, I'm heading out with my new girl. Fuck her. But these bros, they throwing fucking divorce parties.
We have a cheetah cake, because they're a cheetah. Let's see what else. We have all kinds of stuff.
That's interesting. All right, I've heard divorce parties, but I didn't know they're getting that spicy.
Oh, yeah, they got to. They got to.
Spicy or stupid?
Ma'am, why don't you give me some background here?
Okay, Your Honor. This has been my friend for a very long time. Back in the day, we used to party, hang out, drink, man hate, everything.
So you were a man hater from back in the day. So why would you want to get married if, it seems to be that at your core you're a man hater? Unless the answer is that you don't really hate men, you're just upset because you probably could never find one that would take you seriously. You finally found one who was dumb enough to take you seriously, and that didn't work out because you're a dysfunctional, silly bitch. So you end up going into this divorce party nonsense. You're investing all of your energy in negativity. That's why no positivity will come upon you. One of the most insidious aspects in America or Western society is this promotion of misandry or man hate. They think that they're helping these women out. They're only hurting them. Once again, as Paul tells us in 1 Corinthians chapter 11, verse 8, the man was not created for the woman. The woman was created for the man. And once they grasp that, that their happiness comes in making their man happy, everything will get better. When they try to delude themselves into thinking that a man was placed here on the earth to make them happy, no one's ever going to be happy, because the woman is never happy, period, unless she's doing what she's supposed to be doing, which is pleasing her man. As soon as she's in a convention where she thinks that her happiness trumps her man's happiness, everybody becomes unhappy. Her, the man, and the child or children. Hell, even the dog is going to get unhappy.
You could think of.
And what does man hate after a man cheats on you?
Yep,
hate
he's
him?
no good.
No, just in general. She hates men. Probably had no daddy in her life also.
Call him, talk trash, whatever. That's just a no good man.
Okay.
Call him and talk trash. In other words, call him and harass him because you're upset. This is the type of silly bitch run into the wrong guy and you never see her ass again.
Kind of thing. So I kind of fell away from her for a little bit, got into a more serious relationship, and that relationship did not work out. So
Now you notice she said that once she got into a more serious relationship, she kind of cut off the plaintiff because, once again, most female friendships are only based in mutual dysfunction and a mutual inability to sustain anything of substance with a man. Once these women find a substantive relationship with a man, it's almost natural that they cut off the girlfriend because the girlfriend was only there as a placeholder anyway. Most female friendships are frivolous. They're not really anything of depth.
You're in it.
about 5 years. So I came to her, as my friend to lean on, and had seen that she had started this new thing, this new adventure where she's doing divorce parties, and she's like, what a good idea for you to have one. You're getting out of this breakup, it'll lift up your spirits, make you,
You
feel
all
a little
live together?
better.
You and the guy?
Yeah, we did. We lived
For
together.
5 years?
Wow, that's unfortunate. Some guy dealt with your man hating ass for 5 years. I can only imagine what he went through.
Not for the whole 5
Yeah.
years. 2 of the 5 years we
Okay.
lived together. So, so she said, let
They lived together for 2 years. I'm pretty sure that he wanted her out after about 2 months, but put up with her for the other 22 months because he was with her for 3 years before that. And that happens a lot. Many people say, I've been with this person for so long, we should stay together because I've already put in this amount of years. Do not allow anyone to make your life a living hell. The people who are in your life, it's their job to help you find your happiness. If they're not willing to do that, help them exit stage left.
get you happy again, throw a party. So I was like, sounds like a great idea. And we talked about what it would include. So a few of the things that she did mention, but some other things that I wanted added on to the party. So I wanted some strippers. I wanted some nice looking men, big packages, dark skin looking guys.
You're making a lot of requirements for a bitch that look like she's pregnant.
I also wanted her to include a dartboard.
That rules me out.
Della said, forget that. And I'm talking about the dark skin. Because shit, I pull down these cop pants and I have to unroll this pecker like toilet tissue. Don't hate.
I was there for a while.
What, the big package? Got that for everything except that. All right. Go ahead.
I also wanted her to include a dartboard with my ex's face on it so we could throw darts at his face.
Damn, the man fucked you up that bad, or are you just that miserable a bitch? I have to presume that it's a little bit of both, because as you already stated, before you were with that man, you used to sit up with the plaintiff and commiserate on how to hate on men, crank call men, all that other dumb shit. You need to crank call your daddy. That's the real problem.
And I also wanted her to do just a drink special for the night. So, like the Love's Lost drink or something that was derogatory towards him.
Why? Why'd you all break up? Was it that nasty?
It was nasty. He cheated on me.
That man did not cheat on you. I'm sure that if he was in the courtroom, he would say, Yana, this bitch was trying to make my life a living hell. I told her it was over. She still was trying to act like it wasn't over. I had a new chick. She couldn't deal with it.
And I actually had just called him, just talking, how you call your boyfriend. And his new girlfriend picked up the phone.
So in other words, he wasn't with you. She's talking about how you call your boyfriend, but his new girlfriend was on the phone. Why would you call her his new girlfriend? Normally, a woman who's being cheated on would say some other woman picked up the phone, or some strange voice I heard on the other line, or some bitch answered. She wouldn't say his new girlfriend. That's how you know it was already over. This bitch is just crazy.
Yes.
On his cell phone?
Yes, on his cell phone.
Well,
Why would he allow that woman to pick up his cell phone unless he was letting you know, bitch, it's over. Stop calling me.
really?
They were out
I'm being
like, at the
nosy
mall.
now.
They were out at the mall, I guess, shopping.
And he had no problem with her answering his phone because he was communicating to you. Stop bothering me. I'm not tolerating your bullshit anymore.
She's just like, who are you? And I'm like, who are you? So, yeah, we just end up arguing and...
You terrible. Out here exploiting women's hurt.
Oh no.
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to help her, uplift her. She's been through a tragic relationship.
If you're trying to uplift that big bitch, you're going to need a tractor.
Get her to go to jail.
No, how am I going to get her to go to jail?
You're throwing darts at a person's face.
Oh,
You're inching closer and closer to violent retaliation.
Thank you, sir. That's why I stated if a man was to form an organization like that, he might not even be able to maintain his license for very long because women's groups would start to complain and say that he was encouraging, subliminally or subconsciously, he was encouraging men to be violent. Do you think a man could go to, a divorce party that had a dartboard with a woman's face on it and they would let that shit go for very long? Like, come on.
not at a person. At
But
a
you
dog.
are. If you start with the doll, the person is next.
Ding.
Your Honor, come on now.
Come on, nothing. But this is another example of how they let females get away with silly shit, and I don't mind that. Just stop telling me that they're equal, because they're not, and they know that they're not. They know that they're basically evaluated on the level of a child. I wonder why that is.
You're hyping them up. You're gassing her up to violence. You're
Oh,
gassing these
come
women up.
on. Come on. You guys go to paintball games.
This Dizzy bro said you guys go to paintball games. Do men go to paintball games and tell the rival team, you're all going to wear masks that have the faces of our ex-girlfriends on them? Or do dudes just go to paintball games to shoot each other? That's just an asinine attempt at a comparison.
What's the difference?
Go ahead.
Good job ignoring her dumb ass.
So she gassed you up at the event?
Yes.
So the darts and what else?
The strippers
Mm-hmm.
and then the drinks. I wanted drink specials. Just named some derogatory things towards him.
Okay.
That we can all laugh about, like give me two of the loose whatever.
And what was the agreement on the amount?
The amount was $2,100
All right. To include all of that?
to include everything.
Your Honor,
That's-
she only gave me $600, and she
Okay.
still has not paid.
Okay. Anyone have a looks as if you're holding something up? Is that a written
Yes.
agreement? Because
She
if
had-
you're in business like this, you need to have an agreement.
Yeah, she had these ex-boyfriends.
Yeah, but I need to see a written
Okay.
agreement on this
Oh, you got it.
deal.
You got it.
All right, and what happened?
Nothing that we had discussed was part of the party. So it was a good party altogether, but I didn't get the dartboard. There's a dartboard, but it didn't have my ex's face on the board. You could just throw
Your Honor, I told her to bring pictures for that.
Well, she knows him too, so she could have downloaded some Facebook pictures. Or,
I gave you everything
Did she
that was
ask
in
you
the
for
contract.
something?
She didn't ask me for pictures.
All right. Go
That's
ahead.
Sound like she's lying.
What else did she fail to do, you say?
The other thing was the strippers. There was only one, so I had hoped for at least 3 or 4.
You had hoped
What are you
for.
talking about?
Yes.
Ma'am? You had hoped for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
She's
So
probably
she just
tired.
had the one, and he wasn't dark. He was a very pale guy. He was small package, a little overweight, didn't have really good
You
rhythm.
sure were bumping and grinding on him?
Yeah.
Right, but bitch, you're not going to appear in any magazines your damn self. Like, what? What is she talking about? She lucky if that dude that's sitting right over her left shoulder with the damn Fu Manchu mustache and the mustard colored shirt. If that dude hits on her, she'd be very fortunate. Like, what is this bitch talking about? The guy had a small package and he was pale and he was this and he was that. You look like you weigh about a good 280, 290. Like, pump your brakes.
I mean,
Did you
I,
bump and
dropped it
grind
low,
up?
I wasn't grinding or bumping.
Yes, she was, Your
but I
Honor.
Were you
trying
happy?
I was trying to
The
enjoy the
videographer
party.
caught it.
So, I was just trying to have a good time, the best
You were
I
having
could,
a
but it's
real
not
good
what I
time.
requested or what I asked for.
Okay.
So, Just trying to enjoy myself.
Okay.
Had a
And
real good
you say
time.
you all discuss things, but we have a contract here that you've signed. Perform the following. Videographer, did she have that?
Yes.
Cheetah cake,
Yes, she had
stripper.
one stripper.
That's all it says is one. It says stripper. That says
Amen.
strippers.
Okay.
DJ,
Yes, there's music.
ex-husband voodoo dolls.
I got
Yes,
the
there
proof
were
right
voodoo
here.
dolls.
Dark board with ex's picture on it. You say
Right.
the
There
board-
was a dartboard, but there was
no picture. All right.
I asked her.
So
to
far,
bring-
that's the only breach is no pictures. Karaoke CD with anti-love songs.
Yes.
Y'all going through all that shit, karaoke CD with anti-love songs? I mean, come on now. You might as well spend all that money on a psychiatrist.
Finger foods catering.
Yes.
You should have left that out.
Urinal.
Yes, we had.
Alcohol, beer, wine, vodka shots.
Well, we had the drink
Drunk bitch.
out with the names, so it wasn't
What
like
name?
a specialty drink.
What name?
I wanted it to be a specialty.
No, I was going by the contract. I didn't say anything about names. Pinata to place ex's picture on it.
No.
That's a lie. I have
Okay,
not a
we'll
picture
go. She's
right
gonna
here.
show me, ma'am, and I hope you're not being dishonest.
I'm
Otherwise, you've blown your case.
Wait, let me
No,
see.
ain't no wait. You were very concise and clear
Yeah.
on your answer.
Look at the dumbass face she making. This bitch is over here trying to make up a new lie. She's showing you why her ex-boyfriend dumped her ass.
Yada with your ex face on it. All right. There it is.
Okay.
Your case is blown.
Okay.
Judgment for the plaintiff.
All right.
Don't lie to the judge
Okay.
anymore. Have a good day.
I was hoping we could repair it, rebuild. It's just a party that went bad, and we can move forward from here.
You should have had that same conciliatory mentality with your ex-man. Maybe if you would have been willing to work things out with him more, you'd still be with him, and you would not have had to throw that divorce party.
About being friends with her. She lied. I'm having problems paying my bills because she didn't pay on time, and she has made no effort to pay the remainder.
So in other words, y'all gonna have to throw a divorce party for each other. That's what you're saying now. Y'all no longer friends. But anyway, brothers, please keep that in mind. There's a big difference between the massive woman-worshipping ritual, really is what it is, that's called the wedding, and what a marriage is. Marriage is about the acceptance of repetition and monotony. If a woman cannot deal with monotony, and if you can't deal with monotony, don't even think about signing that contract, because it's going to go downhill very quickly, and it's going to hurt and harm your life and your future. So peace.